From astoundingly smart robots to violent weapons of concrete destruction, the top tools used in the construction industry nowadays are genuinely mind-blowing and insanely satisfying. To kick things off, I want to show you one of the craziest construction processes I've ever seen. This whirling cylinder of chaos is part of a process called horizontal directional drilling, and it's cool as hell. If you've ever wondered how they lay pipe and cable deep underground without digging out huge trenches everywhere, here's your answer. They feed a length of tubing into the ground led by a drill bit that sprays out a jet of water to soften the ground ahead of it. That sprayed water can also help to steer the drill, as it will follow the path of least resistance created by strategically positioning that jet of water. Alongside this, the end segment of the drill's own piping will typically be angled so that by rotating the shaft, the head of the drill gets repositioned to steer its direction. It's pretty ingenious. Once the drill has reached its destination, it re-emerges at the surface. There, a larger drill piece is attached, a weird-looking one that spins rapidly and sprays water in all directions. This gets pulled back through the same hole the opposite way, widening the tunnel as it goes. Once it emerges, the tunnel's ready to be fitted with whatever pipe or cables required, which gets hooked onto the mechanism and pulled through once more. And off it goes. This type of drilling is often used for laying sizable water pipes, but for a smaller scale job, something like fitting the piping of a septic tank, a smaller core drill or pipe saw will do the trick just as well. These gnarly looking devices, which often come with diamond coated tips to tear through tough material, will typically be used if underground rock, brick, or other walling needs to be penetrated once the tanks have been lowered in and positioned. Helpful if you happen to be building an array of wastewater collection pits like these. Though we'll keep your reasons why you're producing so much human waste as your dirty little secret. I don't want to know. This next piece of construction tech comes at the further end of a building's lifetime: hydro demolition robots. This demolition technology is some of the most peculiar you'll ever lay eyes on. It's basically a robot that can erase entire buildings piece by piece. Machines of this kind from Conjet scan their environment to determine the most efficient way to demolish it. Once processed, they use an ultra-high pressure water jet to break the concrete apart like a piece of foam. I'm sure we can all agree hydro demolition is seriously fun to watch, so let's stick with it for a minute. Water jet cutters like these operate at around 40,000 pounds per square inch, blasted through an opening a tiny fraction of an inch wide, delivering a terrifyingly powerful laser-like blast of water. The handy thing is, these jets are usually optimized to pulverize concrete but leave the steel rebar at its core intact, which is handy if you're looking to renovate or reuse the structure. These jets are similarly used to create a rough surface on old concrete, which allows new concrete to bond super strongly to it if required. If you crank up the power on water cutting jets even higher, you can actually get them to cut metal. Damn, that scratched an itch I didn't even know I had. The strongest water jet cutters can even cut through 8-inch thick stainless steel, and it gets pretty chaotic. All that splashing around gives you a hint at how much water is passing through that tiny nozzle at any given time. On a similar but even more mind-blowing note, this next piece of unreal tech is truly space age. We're talking destroying stuff with lasers, folks.
Frickin' laser beam!
This is laser ablation, a process which uses a rapidly pulsed laser to remove exterior layers of material from anything from metals to stone to wood and beyond. The high-intensity laser rapidly heats the surface, causing it to evaporate or otherwise burn off, allowing it to strip stuff like paint and rust with ease. And it's super satisfying to watch. We've already seen a few superpowered machines today, but this next one's got the powers of my personal favorite, Spider-Man, with wheels. This is the HB robot designed by Hossbots. Using a vacuum system, those fans on top of it, this little beast produces 92 pounds of suction force, allowing it to climb 98 feet up any surface, only held back by its power tether. Brick, wood, steel, columns, anything, wet or dry, this crazy thing can climb it all, giving it a lot of potential for cleaning, painting, and surveying. It can be loaded with attachments including a spray nozzle, a camera, or even a robotic arm. This groundbreaking bot will make work sites safer as no human has to leave the ground, cheaper due to less scaffolding requirements, and faster as there's no waiting around. Say hello to our brand new Scratch Effect calendar. It isn't your average calendar, this one's packed with hundreds of fun facts. Each day, scratch off to reveal a brand new amazing fact that'll blow your mind. From wild history tidbits to quirky trivia, you'll have something new to look forward to every single day. But wait, there's more. Each page is bursting with stunning hand-drawn illustrations of Bartholomew's adventures over the seasons. It's an immersive work of art, and it's the perfect gift for your friends and family that everyone can enjoy each and every day. So why settle for a boring 2026 calendar when you can have the Be Amazed Scratch Effect calendar? Moving on now, here's how to save yourself a headache when building a house. Simply let the robots do everything. This is the Apis Core 3D concrete printer, lovingly called Frank. In the same way a normal-sized 3D printer works, Frank follows predetermined instructions and builds the walls using extruded layers requiring very little human involvement. The final product is absolutely amazing, and the technique has allowed Apis to build entire houses within 24 hours. Here's some more oddly satisfying footage of Frank in action. Once Frank is done, it's the perfect time to bring in the Lomar 110 screeding robot to leave the floor flawlessly level. Screed is a smooth mixture of sand, cement, and water, and when applied as a thin layer to a concrete floor, it produces a super smooth finish. The Lomar 110s work great in tandem with humans and can even pair with another support bot, the Lomar 106, which moves cleanly along two axes, a little like a 3D printer. On the topic of concrete floors, check out this super impressive, enormous concrete pour carried out by coverage contractors. These experts smooth things out with a powerful Somero laser screed, which you can see being wheeled along to flatten the rough initial concrete pour. With a 25-foot telescopic boom that ends in a 23-foot wide scraper, this thing scrapes. Now, often a big part of construction is destruction, particularly crushing. And this next thing squeezes even harder than my prom pants when I tried them on again after 10 years. These mean squeezers are hydraulic demolition shears. Shears like Tema CC300 deliver an astonishing force equivalent to 4 pneumatic breakers being used simultaneously, without all the insanely loud noise. That's strong enough to crush through concrete and even steel, or crack stuff open from the inside when used in reverse with the appropriate attachments. Looks pretty fun, right? If there's even heavier metal needing attention, we've got two choices. Call it Slipknot or this robot. This bizarre dinosaur-looking bot is a DXR demolition robot, with a universal steel shearer on the end giving it a robo-bite of 85 tons of cutting force. It can be mounted on tank treads or sturdy adjustable legs, and it's all remote controlled, which I can't help feeling would make it the most enjoyable part of your working day. These things come in all shapes and sizes, all ready to destroy with their whopping jaws like cyborg giraffes with a taste for concrete. Their even bigger brothers live in the world of scrap metal disposal, where the biting beaks of shearing machines get absolutely colossal. Let's return now to some more robots that can build you a house. Masonry robots. These ingenious bots use a combination of sensors, software algorithms, and precise mechanical arms and grabbers to determine where to place bricks, usually based on a 3D model of the intended structure. And they make for one hell of a time lapse. But prepare yourself for the unbelievably satisfying variation on bricklaying bots I'm about to show you. This one's called a road printer. With an ingenious lattice of bricks arranged up in the machine, they lock themselves in place under their weight, allowing them to be laid neatly as one big brick strip. Here's some more. Fun to watch and a massive labor saver. That being said, as you saw, some manpower is still required. But that isn't the case for what's up next. This is a mind-blowing method of installing drywall, a Japanese robot who does it all. This hard-working fella is HRP5P, and his entire body is designed around tool usage and material moving. The good thing is he's a little too slow to steal any jobs just yet, but I wouldn't bank on it staying that way. Construction bots are rapidly becoming more common, especially in China, where they're put to work on concreting, painting, plastering, tiling, and cleaning, to name but a few tasks. These days, you can even get a robot to fit a window for you. These are glazing robots, and they use a hydraulically controlled head with several vacuum pump-powered suckers to raise a glass to a job well done. Glazing bots like the Oscar 1000 provide a sturdy way to raise heavy glass into position, which is particularly useful for higher spots. Once in place, the robot can hold the pane steady, freeing up workers to secure the framing more quickly. But futuristic construction tech is by no means limited to robots. Augmented reality is the mind-blowing future of construction tracking and enables precision accuracy while also being cool as hell. By overlaying the approved 3D blueprint model over a camera feed, construction workers are instantly notified if anything in the build is inaccurately placed or has deviated from the plans. This tech is also super useful when integrated with heavy machinery like excavators, as it can build a 3D no-go map, automatically stopping the machines from colliding with walls and other things that shouldn't be damaged, like power lines or drainage. In cases where 3D models need to be built during construction rather than before, one of the key modern techniques is using LiDAR. Short for light detection and ranging, this tech measures the reflection times of laser pulses alongside position tracking hardware to create a three-dimensional image of an environment. Basic LiDAR scans can be done on smartphones nowadays, but more professional scanners utilize self-rotating and 360-degree cameras to make this magic happen. But the most elite approach is taking these scanners and slapping them onto drones, like this Leica BLK-2 Fly drone. This fully autonomous drone uses a spherical laser scanner paired with synced global positioning data to map its environment as it moves, generating a 3D structure, all while automatically adjusting its flight path to avoid obstacles. If crosswinds are an issue, there's always a Doxel robot. This robot also uses LiDAR to scan sites, but can also compare live scans to pre-planned models, allowing it to identify any mistakes. It does this while roving around like a little tank, allowing for modeling and surveillance, providing a subtly intimidating way for foremen to make sure their people aren't slacking.
Get back to work!
But why have one little robot when you can have a legion? Swarm bots, groups of robots that function as a single unit, are the next big thing in construction robotics. This group of swarm bots from Zhejiang University is a great demonstration of the technology. These freaky drones coordinate with each other through algorithms developed over thousands of test runs and simulations. These allow them to rapidly share information and automatically adjust their movements based on their surroundings and nearby robots' positions and actions. These types of bots are entering testing to be used for rapidly scanning potentially dangerous construction or demolition sites, as well as for inspecting hard-to-reach places like bridges to identify cracks and defects. But let's say your bridge has a faulty part that needs removing. That's when you bring in one of the insane saws they use to cut roads, like this AccuCut concrete saw, which the company literally labels the Giant Saw, and uses a 91-inch diamond-tip blade. Talk about cutting-edge technology. The construction/destruction world also commonly uses other colossal saws like the ones I'm about to show you. See if you can guess what they're used for. These mega saws are used for cutting rocks like limestones at quarries, which you can see in action here. Now that's how you harvest yourself a slice of the earth. But some of the most badass rock cutting saw blades are much smaller and weirder looking, like these. These are ring saws, and their hollow center allows for better maneuverability while cutting. Anyone else find watching them cut through masonry and concrete like it's cheese weirdly satisfying? On that sharp note, you've probably seen a chainsaw sawing wood before, but have you ever seen a concrete chainsaw? This one comes with a diamond tip chain that we can see here slicing through reinforced concrete. Thanks to a 220-volt motor and a constant blast of lubricating water, this kind of cutting power is possible while still being handheld. If a job calls for a smaller, square, more accurate hole, check out the Quad Saw. This revolutionary tech offers a speedy replacement for fiddly jab saw work, as it perfectly cuts square holes in drywall for any light switches that need installing. It's actually pretty simple too, and it connects directly to a drill, the vibration of which effortlessly sinks the squares surrounding blades into the drywall. Sometimes you need a tool to slice chunks of metal like cheese. This is the VersaPro, a machine that uses tungsten carbide tip blades for general purpose metal cutting, and it's so satisfying. Carbide is a mix of carbon and metal and is used to cut other tough materials, as it's resistant to heat, scratches, and rust. So those tips mean the cut metal is left clean, sharp, and smooth. Up next, we have a super futuristic machine that feels straight out of a sci-fi movie. Volvo is currently working on something they call the CX-01 Autonomous Single Drum Compactor, which is essentially an AI-controlled self-driving version of one of these things, known as a road roller. Volvo's futuristic take is intended for flattening asphalt and is made of two halves split down the middle of the barrel, which operate independently for steering and are kept upright by a self-balancing control system. The machine will feature the option to either be left to its own devices, operating entirely autonomously, or by remote control for any areas AI may find tricky. Volvo's working on unleashing fleets of these on construction sites, and the idea is they'll eventually be coordinated with other self-controlled machines with aims to ultimately automate the entire build process. Let me know if you think that's a good or bad thing in the comments below. Knowing my luck, it's only a matter of time before I get run over by one of these things. Either way, Volvo's R&D department is heavily focused on self-controlled machines like the LX03, an autonomous wheel loader. The engineers at Volvo first designed this out of Lego before making it real and sending it into the field. There's certainly a lot of potential in the LX03 for picking up your enemies and dumping them out of sight. It's not just smart machines that are shaking up construction tech, but smart wearables too. Smart hard hats like this Daiquiri Smart Helmet do a lot more than just make you look like dollar store RoboCop. It gives workers an augmented reality heads-up display which includes thermal imaging as well as a 360-degree camera capture. Unfortunately, progress on a wide release of that helmet has stalled in recent years, but other smart hard hats with unusual features are still out there. Like this one with a built-in first aid kit, in case Rick drops his goddamn hammer on your toe again. Or this, which takes the AR display into a form that can be mounted on a standard hard hat. More recently, this AR tech has taken on a smaller form factor, adapting to augmented reality glasses, which are less cumbersome, but don't worry, they're still pretty goofy looking. Amazing tech is being added to all types of other wearables too. Smart gloves like the Nuada glove increase grip strength. It works using artificial tendons running from the glove's fingers to the wrist, the tension of which is controlled by the bracelet device and its accompanying motors. When gripping, the motorized tendons engage, locking in and taking all the strain off the user's actual hand. So much so, it allows users to hold up to 88 pounds with completely relaxed hand muscles. Sticking with tools that give human workers superpowers, check out the Grabo lifting tool, which utilizes a powerful air pump vacuum to securely attach to surfaces for lifting. This allows the user to get a much more manageable grip on building materials by effectively attaching handles to pretty much anything. Now we just need to integrate this vacuum tech into the human hand. Did somebody say, real life Spider-Man? If you need to lift up equipment, materials, or machinery, but you don't have super strength, then feast your eyes on these electric stair climbers made by Zanzini. Put simply, these things make one of a builder's hardest jobs, getting stuff upstairs, an absolute breeze. With a carry capacity of 660 to 880 pounds controlled by an automatic load tilting system that keeps the load stable while moving, these machines glide up staircases using powered tracks. They're also pretty fast, ascending at a swift 18 steps per minute and can even go around bends. They're a great way to impress your crush, as demonstrated by this guy carrying an 881-pound fridge motor up a flight of stairs with one hand. Damn, save some for the rest of us, stud. If building work is feeling too much like work, simply gamify it with remote-controlled machines like these. Hell yeah. This is the Rogue X, an autonomous and remote-controlled compact loader, not a BattleBot, like I first assumed. The control method removes the need for an operator cabin required on traditional excavators, making the whole thing much lighter and more maneuverable. An updated concept was unveiled in 2024, which looks even more sci-fi. The Rogue X2 replaces the tank tracks with wheels to increase speed and battery duration. While both the X and X2 are concept demos right now, other Bobcat machines on the market can already be controlled using an app. Bobcat Max Control is a remote operation system that works with a range of Bobcat machines. All it needs is a simple hardware kit, a smartphone, and the app. Then, whether you're just opening a gate, removing obstacles, controlling multiple vehicles at once, digging posts, or simply moving your machine closer, Bobcat's Unreal building technology has you covered. Does this mean construction workers can finally work from home too? Another company, CAT, have rolled out a similar system, but on an industrial level. CAT Command is a full remote heavy vehicle operating system that allows heavy CAT vehicles to be automated or remotely operated. This creates new possibilities for operating machines in hazardous areas, as it massively reduces the chance of injuries and fatigue-related incidents. This system is already working in Carroll Oil Sands, Canada, the world's first fully remote oil operation. Controlling 81 heavy haul trucks, the site's home to the largest self-driving fleet in their industry and one of the largest autonomous mining fleets in the world. The mining material crane is even automated in the first trial test of its kind. Anyone else think it's kinda creepy seeing these mining machines just working away without anyone behind the wheel? For another unusual, innovative construction approach, check out these 3D printed ceramic vault blocks. Designed as a cheap alternative roof tile for creating impressive arched ceilings, this new method of mass producing ceramics uses 3D printing like the houses we saw earlier, making for an insanely satisfying time lapse. These pieces were produced by Manufactura, a company that's also experimenting with 3D printing wood. Wait, what? Here's what that looks like. It seems hard to believe that wood can be 3D printed, but by mixing refined sawdust or wood pulp with certain binding polymers, it can be extruded into whatever shape you like and will quickly harden. Here's an even cooler bit of roof tech, a solar roof tile. Assuming you live somewhere with regular bright sunshine, one fully decked out solar roof can supply all the electricity a house needs. While solar tiles are currently a little less energy effective than full-scale solar panels, tiles look quite a bit sleeker and can be tailored to a range of roof types, including terracotta style. While you're working on the walls leading up to your solar-powered roof, you can give them some extra support using masonry reinforcement tape. When you come across a section of wall that needs support, like a part overlapping a wooden fixture, add these metal hooks between your bricks and lay them. Then grab and roll your tape over the area, locking it into the hooks as you go. Once the rest of the wall is layered on top, the mesh provides a sturdy reinforcement with a little flexibility. Anywho, with masonry reinforcement tape and other products that consist of a mesh of metal designed to keep things together, the most interesting part is seeing how it's made. Check out this machine, which produces metal mesh by slamming huge metal teeth down upon a metal sheet. Very metal. Similar, but even more interesting to watch than that, is this hexagonal wire netting machine. Check it out. The way those cylinders slide back and forth to reposition the wires before twirling to tie them together, perfection. These types of wire meshes and nettings can then be used to construct things like fences or gabion baskets like these. If you didn't know, gabion baskets are containers for rocks and other materials which see usage in retaining walls, landscaping, and erosion control. They're simple and relatively easy to construct, making them super versatile. Some folks love the way they look too, but let me know what you think of the whole wire box full of rocks aesthetic in the comments below. If you need to build down rather than up, Diamond Channel Cutter Systems won't take no for an answer from pretty much any material, aside from diamond itself. This one from Bayer comes with 11 diamond tip blades spread out to create a surprisingly wide instant ditch. They might not look as shiny as what came to mind when I first heard diamond blades, but they're still brutal. Seeing it grind through concrete, the stuff we make skyscrapers from, like it's just a bit of foam, is pretty insane, isn't it? Truly a terrifying thing to imagine dropping on your toes. But if you're building something bigger, you'll need to dig deeper. That's where the Bauer Trench Cutter System smashes onto the site. These mega machines use enormous rotating cutter wheels to dig deep wells, foundations for buildings, and any other ditch you might desire. While grinding away, they soften the churning mixture into a slurry by pumping water into it and then suck it all up and out using a powerful pump system. Pretty darn impressive, but I think I still prefer the giant chainsaws. And if you need help lifting your giant tools, Hilltie, the Liechtenstein-based construction technology company, invented the Neuron XOT22 tool balancer for that exact purpose. It's a backloaded machine that does all the heavy lifting for you, distributing the weight evenly across your body like a hiking rucksack and minimizing lift strain with an automatic pulley system. Using its fully automated balancing system, it enables one person to operate heavy machinery with ease while also providing the perfect costume for a Halloween party. Yes, Susan, I have come as a crane. Get over it. Taking things back to ground level when installing foundations, grab one or 50 of these. This is ProBrace, a neat little invention that makes box foundations much more stable. Let's take a look at how easy it is to install. By keeping things sturdily locked in place and precisely positioned with the built-in spirit level, ProBrace allows for continual accuracy as well as a way quicker setup than traditional hand-constructed timber support systems. By the time your foundations are laid, if you've decided you've had enough with the hard work, good news! You can simply plop down a boxable flat pack house.
Wow,
It's a prefabricated house transportable in an innovatively small form factor which then slots together as easy as IKEA furniture. They start at $20,000, a fraction of what a traditionally built house would cost, and are made ready to install in their Las Vegas-based assembly line factories. Ready to fill with flat pack furniture and maybe even a flat pack family. Swedish meatballs again, flat pack wife? Sticking with groundbreaking innovation that keeps things as simple as possible, German company Trick Brick produces a line of interlocking wooden building blocks, which legally they can't just call Big Giant Lego, but we all know they want to. I mean, look at it. Tell me that's not Lego for grown-ups. It's all designed to go up fast and uses reclaimed wood secured snugly together with the interlocking design and reinforced with wooden dowels between the blocks where needed. They're not the only Europeans leveling up construction using wood. French company Bricawood also has their own intuitive line of wooden bricks. Using a simple slide and lock method, they're fixed together with sawdust thrown into the middle for insulation. Whatever you build with blocks, bricks, or stones, having one of these mules on site will make all the difference. This is the Material Unit Lift Enhancer, otherwise known as the Mule ML150. While it looks like a scaled-down crane, it's quite a bit more dynamic and can be set up to actively respond to a human maneuvering heavy construction materials below, making hand lifting super easy. Speaking of keeping things feeling light, up next let's check out a building material you'd never expect to be used for a house: Styrofoam. It turns out manufacturers in China and Japan have been developing prefabricated dome homes, which can be assembled in just 3 hours. These things are modular, with their individual pieces being cut to size in a factory using hot wires, a very satisfying process in and of itself. Once prepped and transported to the build site, they're set up a simple 8-shaped steel beam to serve as the base. Then, chunk by chunk, the styrofoam is brought in and assembled, which can be done in a huge array of lengths, sizes, and arrangements. Once slotted together, the foam is covered in paint or plaster for protection against the elements, and windows and doors are slotted in and sealed. With the foam core providing insulation, it's a shockingly simple way to build functional houses in emergency situations, or just for a change if you're bored of straight walls, I guess. And if you're bored of laying bricks, check out this corium cladding system designed to bring the aesthetic appeal of bricks at a fraction of the installation time and price. The shallow brick tiles clip directly onto a pre-installed high-strength waterproof metal facade. After a quick squirt of cement, you're left with a beautiful fake brick wall. Now with 50% less actual brick. Although presumably you will still need a wall to attach it to begin with, which seems a little counterintuitive. That being said, if you want real bricks, that's when a brand called Bricky comes onto the scene. Sadly, Bricky isn't a fun sentient brick that tags along during your bricklaying journeys, which is what sprang to mind when I first heard the name. Instead, Bricky is actually a set of guiding molds designed to make bricklaying easy. So easy that even a child can get a perfect mortar spread in no time. And why not check out all our other amazing products and bundles at the lowest price they'll ever be. But hurry, because this discount is only for a very limited time. All items are designed with love by us, and every purchase you make directly funds what we do here on this channel. So hurry, don't miss out on this savings. Scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the description to purchase this bundle of joy while stocks last. If you'd like to keep things super satisfying, check out this other video we made showing professional deep cleaners doing their thing. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you next time.